How to start stock photography portfolio. 10 essential tips that you just have to know. Hi, this is Jacek Sputnik from Jacek Photography. In last episode, I mentioned that you can use this COVID pandemic, having more time, to create your stock photography portfolio. And having good content is one thing, but meeting technical requirements is another thing. So today I want to give you 10 tips that are essential to get your photos accepted and to get more sales. So tip number 1 is sharpness. I know it sounds very obvious, but this is not that easy to do. One of the first things I would buy after buying camera is tripod. And you will be taking photographs in different light conditions. For example, afternoons, evenings. You want sometimes this moody look like I have behind me, but this is shot from the drone, so I didn't need tripod. The other thing how to keep your photos sharp is to stop down your lens from something between 9 to 16. If you're taking some portraits or some food photography and you need this beautiful creamy bokeh, that's good. You can open your aperture wide. But if you're shooting some kind of landscapes or cityscapes, please keep your f-stop between 9 and 16. I tend to keep it between 9 and 11, and even the worst kit lens on this planet will work just fine. Tip number 2, keep your ISO value low. You want to avoid excessive noise. Noise is one of the main reasons for rejection, specifically for beginners in stock photography. So you may say, hey, but there are those cool cameras, you can go up to, I don't know, 50,000 ISO or something. I rarely set my ISO to anything more than 400. Of course, if you're a wedding photographer, that's a different story. But for stock photography, you want to keep your ISO low. So my tip is keep it anywhere between 100 to 400. Even if you have a great new camera that allow you to go very, very high, try to avoid it, because even if you don't initially see the high level of noise, then in post-production, when you want to raise your shadows, like see what's there in shadows, like recover your shadows, you may see a lot of noise there, and your photos will be rejected, even if they are super cool. Third thing is white balance and generally colors. At the beginning of my career as a photographer, I got a lot of rejections because of that. I had unreliable monitor, and I didn't have too much idea what it is and how to cope with that, and so on and so on. But this is an essential knowledge to keep your white balance right. Even if you didn't set it right in your camera, please start shooting in RAW. Even if you set your white balance really wrong or your automatic white balance did something really crazy, you can always save yourself in post-production. And I would invest, after buying camera and tripod, I would invest in not super crazy and super expensive, but some reliable IPS monitor. Point number 4 is compose your photos. I advise all photographers that want to start their adventure with stock photography to use a rule of thirds. This is a basic method of composition, but it really works. It's a good method, and you will not get your photos rejected because of bad composition if you stick to that rule. Having said that, you can always break that rule if you have great ideas, some creative ideas there, that you want to break this rule and there's a reason for breaking this rule. Okay, feel free to do it. The other method of composing is Fibonacci sequence, for example. So as you get advanced with your photography, with composition, you can start experimenting with other methods. Point number 5, it's a legal aspect and probably boring for most of us, but super important. It's model or property release. If you want to upload a picture of a person as a commercial photograph to sell, you need this person to sign model release. Even if it's your own face, you will need to sign model release. You will never get your photo that present a recognizable face of a person accepted to stock photography website if you didn't sign a model release with the person. Of course, if it's a news content like editorial type of licensing, it's a different story. But if you want your photographs to be, usable for commercial purposes, you need to sign the papers. In description below, I will put a link to a model release and a property release from Shutterstock. Those are just example releases, but very good ones that we use. You can also have electronic model release software. Anything works for you, but please don't forget about signing the papers. Point number 6, and this is the sweet point. We all love gear, right? So at the beginning I said that you need like entry-level camera, any camera. I want to give you one simple tip. What camera do you need? The best one you can afford. So nowadays I would say anything 24 megapixels and above is great for stock photography, and I would stick to something that can shoot in 4K. And nowadays even Canon entry-level cameras can shoot 4K and have more than 24 megapixels. So this is something very important. And why do I say about 24 megapixels? Because the larger the resolution, the more revenue you get, the more money you earn basically on your shots. And 4K is something that will make you more future-proof. And though a lot of advertising agencies, they still buy HD content because they don't need more. They may want to zoom in a little bit, and they may buy 4K, and you will earn a lot more. Point number 7, copy space. Not a lot of photographers will tell you about that specific thing, but this is super important to have in mind. That whenever you build a collection of photos from some city or place you're visiting, remember to take some shots with copy space in mind. What is it? It's a little bit of a neutral space that nothing, complicating is going on there, to put some body of text there or some title there. This is very important because it increases commercial usability of your photos. Not all of your photos have to have it, but it is very recommended specifically in stock photography portfolio. Point number 8, process your photos. I know it sounds basic and for most of photographers it's something obvious, but really shooting in JPEG and living it like it is, I tried many times, to do it, maybe to avoid post-processing because it's a little bit boring. You have to sit in front of your computer, have, Camera Raw or Lightroom turned on for half of a day, and it's a hassle. But believe me, people want a ready, beautiful looking content there. Point number 9 is more like motivational point, and it's basically start shooting. Whatever you love to do, maybe it's your favorite sport, maybe it's your hobby, maybe some project in home, maybe your own city, maybe your family. Family is a big subject, so if you know how to shoot it right, it's just a great subject. But basically you have to start shooting and you have to start uploading. And I can promise you will get sales on stock photography websites. And finally, point number 10, super important one, is be patient. Stock photography business is not for people that want to have money out of it right now. You need to learn to wait. Is it worth it? It's a great business. So we lost, because of the COVID pandemic and quarantine, we lost all the jobs, all the clients, they canceled the jobs we had scheduled. But stock photography keeps bringing us money, so we can pay our bills, we can buy our food, refuel our car, do everything we want. And this is a great way to have extra income, extra source of passive income. But first of all, you need to be patient. So that's it, guys. In future, we'll definitely record more content like that and share more tips with you, some insights and some specific knowledge. For example, what equipment do you need, step-by-step guide, how to improve your sales by keywording and tagging your photos, and a lot of things like what to shoot to get more sales, what subjects are in demand. So we will talk more about that. So please remember to subscribe and stay tuned to my channel. This is Jacek Sputnik from Jackson Photography. See you in next episode.